semester 3 in any of the branch. Because university is having the rule that even if you are having any backlog in any of the paper, you will be forwarded to MSc semester 3 and 4. So your study will continue. So officially each and everyone are in MSc semester 3 even if the result is not declared, MSc Sem 2. So I expect that each and everyone present here and those who are absent, I expect that you all are fine. And I am sad to announce that one of our ex-student 2020 batch, Amit Rawal, he has recently passed away on 14th of this month. At the age of 23 years, he was from organic HPP batch and Visalpur nearby the Ahmedabad, Thodka Road, I think. He was just 23 years old and he has worked, because personally I was knowing him because he has done his dissertation with me and he has organized the chemistry 2020. So we lost him recently, and one of the student from Baroda, if I am not mistaken, then Mehul Bharwad, he got severe accident while coming from the job, and doctor has said that there is no hope for his life. So everybody has lost him, almost lost, but after 3 months remaining in coma, he recovered. And right now he is at home with this, without this skull. Without this skull. Skull is completely removed and directly it was packed right now. So when he came out from the coma and he wanted to talk to me, so he has called, video call, and I had a conversation with him, and he mentioned that the skull is in hospital and he is living at home without skull at his home till date. Again, 2-3 surgery is completed and one more surgery is going to take place where the skull is going to fit. So he was saying me that, sir, my head is like milk or curd packet. You just push, it is very smooth because skull is not there. So these two, I remember these two students specifically, and I don't know what is the scenario in your family or with your near and dear one. But this was our family, and that is why I have remembered them, and I expect that you all are fine here. With this note, I am proceeding now. This is the first lecture and it is a general lecture. So I don't know what other faculties has so far discussed. I think 4 faculties has discussed about the varieties of topic. So just in a word, what Professor Pranav sir has discussed, can anyone? You can just mention in a word or line.
Semester 4.
Chemistry,
Scientific writing.
scientific writing. So I think sir might have taken the portion of MSc semester 4 probably. Okay, where
Yes.
different aspect was there. Okay, great. Then next lecture was taken by I think Professor HD Patel. What was it? Can someone?
Same regarding
Research.
and patent related.
Research and PhD.
Okay, so it was taken how to carry out the research and how to get into the PhD. Okay, great. Then I think Professor Maisuria sir has also conducted a lecture. What was it?
So it was regarding basics of spectroscopy.
Regarding the
Basics of spectroscopy.
spectroscopy. Okay, great. So it was regarding the spectroscopy. Okay, fine. Great. Good. Then yesterday, I think Dr. H. Kaur Madam has taken lecture. What was it about?
Acid and base.
Basics of acid and base.
Okay, basics of acids and base. Great. And today I am with you. Okay. So just I am making sure myself that I am not overlapping with the previous lecture. That's what the intention. Okay. So my dear students, today I am going to take very general lecture, but very important lecture. And that is about National Education Policy 2020. Why? Why have I chosen this topic? Number one, those who are preparing for the competitive examinations, at least 5 to 10 questions are asking from National Education Policy in writing. 2, if you are facing interview in academic or conducted by any government agency, definitely there will be minimum 2 to 3 questions will ask from the NEP. If you are willing to go for the PhD entrance exam, because PhD is having 2 portions, one is general and one is the chemistry. 50-50 it is. 50 marks from the test of reasoning, general science, general maths, research methodology, and a test of reasoning. All this covered in 50 marks. So in this, at least 2 to 3 questions are asked from the national education policy. If you are trying to get job in the education field, whether you are joining as a primary teacher or you are going for the um, higher education interview, 100% the questions will be asked from national education policy. Those who are willing to join in industry in the introductory part or to set up the repo with the interviewer, you may ask the NEP questions. So I expect in any of the case, if you are in, then this lecture is very helpful to you. If you are having any brother or sister in your family, then this lecture is going to be benefited to you. If any educationalist in your family, in the form of teacher or professor, then this educational policy will be, this lecture is going to be helpful. And apart from that, if you are going to marry and ભગવાન જાણે ભૂલથી બાળકો થાય, then this lecture is going to be helpful. So if you are coming any of the category which I have mentioned, then this lecture is for you. Okay. So tell me, are you clear about this? Yes or no, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And this is the one of the aspect included in national education policy, and that is the interactions. That was covered in the national education policy. So just I am sharing the screen with you so that it may visible to you. Okay, let me see first how to do that. Okay, tell me. Okay, tell me, is it visible? National NEP 2020?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, the first slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the national education policy 2020. Before starting the lecture, there is a warning. If you are thinking that you will get any kind of knowledge, then this lecture is not about you. This lecture is not about adding to your knowledge. કશું નથી મળવાનું આ લેક્ચરમાંથી. So if you are thinking that you are going to get any kind of knowledge from this lecture, then I request you not to attend this lecture, because you will not get any kind of knowledge from this lecture. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Good. So I am giving a minute or 30 seconds. If you wanted to leave this lecture, you can leave. Because you will not get anything from this lecture. If you wanted to leave this lecture, you can leave. I am giving you 10 seconds to do that. Okay. So nobody is willing to leave. Then fine. I welcome you here for the same. So now then I am starting. Okay. So National Education Policy 2020. What is the requirement of National Education Policy? So the need of National Education Policy. So first of all, I remember Nelson Mandela. He has spent many years in the jail, but he was the person where he has given many thoughts which has made a difference in the world. So that is why I invite to you to listen what he said. And this sentence was written on the entrance of the University of South Africa. That was What was the sentence? And the sentence is this. Can somebody generate what is the sentence so far visible on your screen? Can anyone? Can somebody generate this sentence, please? Hello. Hello. So am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can somebody read? कोईने देखा तो हो तो you can read.
Destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bombs or the use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in the examination by the students.
Great. Thank you so much for generating. Who is there?
Payal Sharma, sir.
Good. Payal, I really acknowledge you for the same
Thank you, sir.
by generating this. Okay. So destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bombs or the use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in the examinations by the students. Very heart-touching sentences mentioned by Nelson Mandela, and that was written on the entrance of University of South Africa. So whatever I and you have done in the examinations, authentically, I am not going to ask, but authentically, you can ask yourself whether I have cheated myself in the examinations. If yes, then you can acknowledge that yes, I have done. If you have not done anything in the examination, you can acknowledge that yes, myself has not done anything in examinations. Just recall. I am giving you 10 seconds to do that at your level. So I acknowledge and congratulating everyone to do that. Few more quotation for the education mentioned by Albert Einstein. It's not that I am so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Benjamin Franklin, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. GK has said, education is simply the soul of society as it passes from one generation to another. Again, a very famous quote by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Very inspiring. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And the Gandhiji has given very bold statement that education is an all-round drawing out of the best in child, body, mind, and spirit. What a heart-touching thought said by Gandhiji. Ambedkar said, be educated, be organized, and be agitated. Swami Vivekananda has mentioned, education must give spiritual awareness leading to greater strength and self-confidence. And the Chinese proverb, if you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. Season chale છે અત્યારે. If you are planning for lifetime, educate people. And the famous quote by Shai, when you educate one person, you can change a life. When you educate many, you can change the world. And this is the heart or importance of the education. And the source of education is this. The source is not only the percentage. Nothing is written in this. Percentage is the figure, digit. While Googling, I got this. Patients die at the hands of such doctors. Building collapse at the hands of such engineers. Money is lost at the hands of such economists and accountants. Humanity dies at the hands of such religious scholars. Justice is lost at the hands of such judges. The collapse of education is the collapse of the nation. This is the outcome if the education system is not working properly. So, are you there with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So can somebody say what is open up for you? કોઈક બોલશે? આ 2 કે 3 સ્લાઇડ આપણે બતાવી એમાંથી आपको क्या मिला? Can someone? Whether it may be in Gujarati or Hindi or English, not an issue. Can somebody speak out? આ 2 લેક્ચર 2 કે 3 સ્લાઇડ માંથી શું મળ્યું? We are around 100 people in this lecture. Can someone? Because you are not forwarding me. I am not getting energy from this lecture. So to generate my energy, you are the source. આજે આપણે 2 કે 3 સ્લાઇડ જોઈ એમાંથી શું ઓપન અપ થયું તમારા માટે? કોઈક બોલશે?
હેલો સર.
યસ.
એટલે આમાં જે બી લોકો હતા, જે પર્સન મોટા મોટા માણસો કે જેમણે એજ્યુકેશન વિશે લખ્યું છે, એમાં એવું કહેવા માંગે છે કે એજ્યુકેશન માત્ર ખાલી ભણતર નથી કે એનાથી ખાલી પૈસો કમાવા નથી, એ આપણા જીવન સાથે સંકળાયેલું છે. જેમ કે આપણે જીવન જીવવા માટે ખોરાક જરૂરી છે, એનર્જી જરૂરી છે, એ રીતે એજ્યુકેશન પણ પાર્ટ ઓફ ધ લાઈફ છે કે જેને આપણે જીવનમાં આવેલી દરેક મુશ્કેલીઓ કે કોઈ બી પ્રોબ્લેમથી નીકળવા માટે આપણા માટે જો એજ્યુકેશન હશે તો આપણે એમનો સામનો કરી શકીશું અને એ પરિસ્થિતિનો આપણે એકદમ એટલે પ્રબળપૂર્વક એમનો સામનો કરીશું ને આપણે નિર્બળ નહીં પડીશું અને ક્યાંય બી આપણે પાછા નહીં પડીએ. જો એજ્યુકેશન જો બેસ્ટ હશે, આપણા જોડે સારું એજ્યુકેશન હશે તો.
Beautiful. Who is there? Sunam?
બગીલ રાહુલ.
Rahul.
રાહુલ. યસ.
Very good. Very nicely articulated. Beautiful. Okay. Great. So now, further. Education should be holistic and man-making, life-giving and character building. Education can unlock all doors for a progress. A nation advances in proportion to education and intelligence spread among masses. And this is the source of national education policy. Holistic education, that was pronounced by Swami Vivekananda. And national education policy is the document of 50-60 pages. But that document, the source of that document is the holistic education. So I don't know, but Swami Vivekananda might be the source of this national education policy. And he said education should be holistic, man-making, life-giving and character building. So my dear students, this I have taken from the education policy document. Holistic development of learners. It is written on page number 33. Sorry, page number 4. The aim of education will not only be cognitive development, but also building character and creating holistic and well-rounded individuals equipped with the key 21st century skill. This is the whole heart and bold and clear sentence of the National Education Policy 2020. So just I connected because whatever Swami Vivekanand has said, that words are mentioned in this. So just it is my guess that probably he is the source of this NEP 2020. And it is also mentioned that holistic and all well-rounded individual. It is not talking about the mass, individual with the key 21st century skills. Key 21st century skills. Knowledge is not skill, by the way. Knowledge is a information. It is a knowledge. It is not the skill. So even if this document does not say get the abundance knowledge, this document says you can individually develop a 21st century skills. And what is mentioned on page number 33? Value-based education will include the development of humanistic, ethical, constitutional, and universal human values of truth, satya, righteous conduct, dharma, peace, shanti, love, prem, non-violence, ahimsa. This is the constitutional human values. Satya, dharma, shanti, prem, ahimsa. The 5 core values of human being. આજે આપણી મુઠ્ઠી બંધ થાય છે ને, that is the 5 values. સત્ય, ધર્મ, શાંતિ, પ્રેમ, ahimsa. This is the 5 basic common values should be fulfilled in the national education policy. And also, now it comes life skills. Life skills. Lessons in seva, service, and participation in community service program will be considered as an integral part of holistic education. Very interesting. And this is written in the document, National Education Policy Document 2020. Now, my dear student, just I can go back little bit. The National Education Policy was developed in 2020, the second National Education Policy, but University Education Commission was draft in 1948-49. Then Secondary Education Commission came in the force. It was in 1952-53. After the independence, it was developed, all these documents. Education Commission came in 1964-66 under Dr. D.S. Kothari. And right now also, after the PhD or after the MSc, Dr. D.S. Kothari fellowship and scholarships are available. Now, first National Education Policy was drafted in the 1968. Okay. And that policy was continued. Few amended came in the 42nd Constitutional Amendment in 1976. That was the education in concurrent list. Then the another education policy was draft based on a National Policy on Education NPE in 1986. And that 1986 was the first draft approved by the government based on the National Education Policy. And that was modified little bit in 1992 and introduced right to education. Right to education, and that was implemented somewhere in 2005 onwards. Then the few committee came in the exist, like Subramaniam committee report was given 2016. Then the Kasturi Ranganajan committee has given report in 2019. And finally, the National Education Policy draft was given in 2019, and finally it was declared in 2020 National Education Policy, that is NEP 2020. So what was included? What are the key principles of NEP? So respect for diversity and local context. You can accept all the diversity, because if you just look at the Gujarat, lots of diversities are there. You can look at the South Gujarat. You can look at the North Gujarat. You can just look at the Saurashtra region. You can just look at the western part of Gujarat. Okay. You can just look at the Kutch. So diversity is lot of, but that diversity should be and that diversity is interconnected with the local context. So it was mentioned that the local context should be included in the syllabus and diversity should be included in the syllabus. Because in the National Education Policy, it was mentioned that the education should be in the local language. So it means the people is having the different local language. So education should be provided in the local language. It is not mandatory that that should be in Gujarati or that should be in English or that should be in Hindi. Use the local language. Equity and inclusion. Community participation. All the community should be included in this. And very, very specifically mention use of technology, globalization. So by use of the technology, we can reach to any of the people, and that could be fulfilled to the Divyang students. Emphasize on conceptual understanding. Cannot be only focused on the exam. Unique capabilities should be identified and that should be encouraged. Like some person is having good talent, should be encouraged. Critical thinking and creativity is always welcomed and it is encouraged in the logical decision making and innovations. And continuous review, ongoing assessment should take place. So these are the key principles of NEP. What is aim? What is expected outcomes? What do we get? What do get the India out of this national education policy? So this is the outcomes. Universalization of access. Whole world will be access to India. Anything from anywhere, India can be accessible. Ensure equity and inclusion. Right now, around 2 crore students are leaving the school. So these children must come in. So ultimately, those students, those who are not going to school, around 2 crores every year, they should come to school. Attain SDG goal, Sustainable Development Goals. Foundational literacy and numeracy. Right now, Gujarat is having literacy around 67%. That should reach 100%. So overall literacy of the India is less. It is hanging somewhere 60 to 70%. That should reach to the 100%. Very significantly focuses on 21st century skills in teaching, learning and assessment. When you are wonder what are the 21st century skills, then 21st century skills means the communication, the way right now we are doing, the technology. So you must be a computer savvy. You must learn thoroughly Office, means PowerPoint, Excel and Word. Mandatory. Techno savvy. You can be a multitask. So all this included in the 21st century skills. Resource sharing, school complexes. This is the school of science. No. This must be accessible to anyone. That is the aim or outcome of the national education policy. Not only that, effective governance. Right now, education minister, education sachiv, secretary, then the collector, DDO, then district officer, then primary. So this is the structure. So this should be implemented in such a way that the effectiveness can be increased. And very specifically here it is mentioned, overcoming the language barrier in learning. It means any of the instruction medium is there, but the resources will be available in all the languages or with your suitable language. And common standards for public and private school education. So this is going to be outcome, or this is the goals, or this is going to be achieved by implementing the education policy. So far clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Am I audible properly? Okay, should I proceed? Yes or no, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now, the National Education Policy 2020 is the quality education. It is depend on the quality education. So design a vision and framework for the schools and for the higher education. So what is the pattern so far right now? The pattern is right now the students are studying in the school. But what is going to be a new pattern? That is the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. You can remember this number 5334. So here it is the, sorry, it is sorry for this. Here it is the foundational education, 5 years. So this is the 5 years. So at the age of 6th standard, students will enter to the first standard. Me and you probably entered in the first standard at the age of 5 years. Correct? But now student will enter in the first standard at the age of 6 year. Age of 6 year. But here it was included the 3-year Anganwadi. So students will start going to Anganwadi at the age of 3. After 3 years, child will go to the Anganwadi and he will remain there in Anganwadi for 3 years. 3 years. And after 3 years, Anganwadi itself will teach first and second standard. So in school, it will be Anganwadi, where 3 years of the Anganwadi and 2 years, that is the standard 1 and 2. So that will completed by the Anganwadi. Okay, and here in age of 6, students will enter in the first standard. But in the structure, the child will enter at the age of 3 years. Means the student or child will remain with parent up to 3 years. Then 3 year onwards, it will the child will go to the structure. So this is the 5 years. So for that it is the 5 years. Okay. Then the another block will start, that is for 3 years. What is it? Standard 3, 4 and 5. Standard 3, 4 and 5. So this will says the primary, pre-primary education. Okay. Or you can say it is the preparatory or lower primary. Now lower primary is 1 to 5th. But here it is 3 to 5 standard is the lower primary. Then next phase will come, that is the 6 to 8 standard. That is known as the middle. That is known as middle. So here we were saying up to so far 1 to 8 standard was mentioned as the primary in present scenario. But in new education policy, it is considered as a middle as the 6 to 8 standard. And preparatory or pre-primary can be mentioned, that is 3, 4 and 5th standard. And now we were saying that secondary means 8, 9, 10 standard, or you might be in the pattern 9 and 10 standard. So that was secondary, and higher secondary was 11 and 12. That is removed now. Only secondary section is there. What is the secondary section? That is the 9, 10, 11, 12. So 10th board is going to be removed. In 10th board is going to be removed in 2025. There is no board, or there may be option. They may give school exam like a CBSE, or they may opt for the board. It depends on the student. Correct? So the aim is students will complete his 12th standard at the age of 18. Before that, he or she will not go to the college. Right now, students is completing around 17 before 18 years. So now it can be renamed foundational, primary, middle, and secondary. This structure is going to come now. Now, what is going to be designed, or you are in this design? You will pass, but your family members or your child, or they will come in this pattern. So it is very important to know. Otherwise, you will say, "Amara wakhate to avu hatu." Bhai gayu. This is the new education policy because already it is implemented. So now, in the current scenario, there is a college of 3 years. There is a college of 3 years. But now the college is going to be of 4 years. The college is going to be of 4 years. But now nobody is going to fail in college. Why? Because entry and exit is given in each year. So after the age of 18 or clearing the 12th standard, student will enter to the college first year. He will complete the first year. He will complete the first year, and if he willing to discontinue, then he will be given the certificate. He is going to get the certificate. Those who is student willing to continue, they will go for the second year. But after second year, if they are not willing to continue, they will get the diploma certificate. Those who wanted to continue after the second year, they will go for the second year, a third year, and then after completion of 3 years, they will get the graduation certificate. And those who are willing to continue for the 4th year, then after completion of the 4th year, they will get the honors. Now this is the new pattern. So you are not fail. You will get the certificate or diploma certificate or graduation on honors. Now in the foreign countries, they are asking the graduation of 4 years. So that is why many students of India are taking the admission in MA or MSc or MCom. They are doing 1 year and then they are going for the higher studies in the foreign countries. Because the foreign countries are mandatory asking 4-year college degree. So that is why now in new education policy, this is mentioned. Okay, so 4-year degree, honors. And it is credit based program. So first 1 credit means 1 hour teaching. 1 credit means 1 hour teaching. And 2 hours practical is equal to 1 credit. If practical is of 2 hours, then 1 credit. If lecture is of 1 hour, then 1 credit. Okay, so this is the credit system. Now very interesting mention is given. If student is opting for the 4-year college, then the 4th year is mandatory research program, or the student will learn the 4-year honors, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Mandatory, the student will go for the research work or field work in the 4 year. And accordingly, the degree, PG degree, right now, what is the pattern? 2 plus 10 plus 3 plus 2. So this is the 3-year college, 2-year PG. This is the PG. This is the graduation. This is the 10 plus 12. So now this graduation is become of 4 years. So the 4 year is mandatory. They have to learn about the research. Now the master degree will be of 2 years or 1 year. So those who are getting the graduation degree here after the 3rd year, they can enter to the PG degree and they have to do 1 or 2 year, 1 and 2 year both, like a present scenario. That option is there, 3 plus 2 structure, this one. So he will get the graduation degree and then he will enter to the master degree. But those who are going in the honors, so 4-year degree, and then they will come to the structure. So they have to do master degree for 1 year. So that is known as the 4-1 structure. So in new education policy, 3 plus 2 or 4 plus 1 structure is available. So this is the system. It is already implemented. Okay. So far, are you with me? Hello, everyone. Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubts so far? Okay. Now the targets. Oh, here it is. The target. The national education policy will remain up to 2040 or it may be continue. But what is going to be obtained in the 2040? That India have to education system by 2040 that is second to none. Means it is aiming that it will compete with the best education system. That is the target. To get that achievement in 2035, the gross ratio in higher education should reach up to 50%. Right now it is 25%. Only 25% students are going for the higher education. So this is going to be 50%. So that goal is going to achieve in the 2035. This is very critical. 2030, what is going to be achieved? That I will discuss in the next slide. In 2022-23 onwards, implementation of the NEP 2020. So this year is the year where education policy is implemented and government of Gujarat has accepted this policy and they have implemented now. And this was declared in 2020. So this is the target. So far the milestones are given up to 2040. So I have mentioned that in 2030, the national education policy is going to be achieve some of the aspect, and in that you need a teachers, many number of teachers will be available or prepared in the education. So by 2030, it is mandatory to have the degree, this 4-year integrated course, if those who are going or thinking to go in that direction. After 12, if you are willing, if you are willing to come in the teaching field, then you have to mandatorily go for the integrated course. So mandatory you can go after 12. Right now, this is applicable 3-year graduation and 2-year. This is going to be removed. This system is going to be removed. And we have said that those who have gone for the 4-1 pattern, 4-year college, 1-year master degree, PG, and 4-year, this is the college, they have to go for 1-year B.Ed. So only these two possibilities are going to available. Rest of the pattern is going to be removed. And it is already implemented. So this is the teacher education that is going to take place in coming future. Now, the one aim is, and it is focusing on the vocational education at all level. So practice-based curriculum, skill gap analysis, open distance learning mode, exposure to vocational education, Lok Vidya, skill framework, vocational crafts. So all this comes under the vocational education. Setting of the Parak. This is the National Center for Performance Assessment Review Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. It is known as the Parak. That Parak will take care of the assessment and implementing and developing the 21st century skills. So that will setting the norms, standards, guideline, state achievement survey, national achievement survey, and monitoring the achievement of learning outcomes. So if you are looking your career in that direction, lots of advertisement will come in this direction. Those who are preparing for the competitive examinations. Support gifted students or with the special talents are there, then they should encourage. They can go for the Olympiads and competition, and that is their syllabus, by the way. Right now, it is side business, but they will get the credit. They have to. They are not required to come to the any of the college. They have to play. They have to use their talent, and they will achieve the credit. That's it, and that is going to be equivalent. This is also very important. Online and digital education, inclusion and access, blended learning, content creation, digital platforms, pilot studies, expansion of platforms. Right now, government is encouraging for online teaching. Already, UGC has suggested 40% teaching must be online from this year. Gujarat University has already accepted. So this year onwards, at least 40% education will be in online mode. And in the coming future, it is going to be 60, 80, and 100%. So whether I like or not, whether you like or not, but the policy is mentioning very clear. College and PG college will remove in the offline mode in the coming future. It will take 10 years, but it is going to be removed. Only online education will be available. So be prepared for that level. This is the timeline. So I have mentioned that new board pattern will come in 2025, 24-25. So these students will appear the board exam in 2000, from implemented in the 2022. So those who are right now in 10th standard, they may get chance, but they will get the new pattern. So new board pattern will be implemented from 25th onwards, because the current will pass out in 25. So this is whatever I have mentioned. See this 2040 policy is fully operational with all the things whatever it was desired. By 2030, teacher education will be gradually be moved into multidisciplinary colleges, and the minimum degree qualification 4-year B.Ed. That is going to be happening by 2030. Only 6 years are there. And rest of the setups are at the primary level. So far, it concerns with the new education policy and higher education. So in higher education HE will be named, and HE will develop good, thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individuals. Okay. Quality HE aims to develop good, thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individuals. So right now when we have started the lecture, we were around 100 students in the meeting. Right now probably we are 60. Okay. But my dear students, this 60 will miss this lecture. I guarantee it. It is basis on the knowledge creation and innovation. And only multidisciplinary will be there. Multidisciplinary universities and colleges. So what it says that when you are coming to the college, you wanted to study the organic chemistry. Yes, it is available to you. But if you wanted to say, no, I wanted to learn the Sanskrit. Yes, it is available to you. You wanted to do the sports. Yes, it is available to you. There is no barrier. So that is why it comes core. Only one core paper will be there. And the elective papers can be any that is of your interest. So students will do whatever he willing to do that. It is not mandatory to learn that organic chemistry, physical chemistry, analytical chemistry, and the inorganic chemistry. No. You can learn of your interest and then you can go for the another electives. So higher education institute will be of three types: research universities, teaching universities, and autonomous colleges. And model MIRAS, that is the multidisciplinary education and research universities, it is known as the MIRAS. That is the model public universities for holistic multidisciplinary education at par with the IITs and IIMs. So this Gujarat University now comes under this category, MERUS. Each university has given the choice whether you wanted to go with this, whether you wanted to go with this, whether you wanted to go with this, or whether you wanted to go with this. Our Gujarat University has chosen MIRA status. Means what? It is having the multidisciplinary, and this both will take place. Research also and teaching also. Now any university will opt very soon, then they will remain only research university. They have to do only research. Those who wanted to go for teaching, they have to teach only. Research is not required. And colleges, like they must have the autonomous status. Right now, St. Xavier's College is the autonomous. And MG Science is now going towards in that direction. Many few colleges are going in the autonomous status. So my dear students, this is going to happen in the coming future. And I believe that you should be aware of this knowledge because you are university student and people near and dear are expecting this from you because many of the teachers doesn't know, many of the government employees doesn't know. Then who will make them informed? You and me. And this is what I have chosen to deliver on the education policy. And I am concluding this lecture here. I have covered the most of the aspect in the national education policy, but you must read this document nowadays. So all the best. Now I am available here. If you are having any question, you are welcome to discuss. Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I have a doubt that next year થી જો મતલબ 1 year નું થઈ જશે બીએડ તો મતલબ એમએસસી પછી બીએડ કરવું હોય તો 1 year નું જ થશે કોર્સ.
નહીં, it is not applicable to you. તમારે મેન્ડેટરી આ પેટર્નમાં જવું પડશે. અત્યારે જે કરંટ પેટર્ન છે. After PG, you have to, suppose you are in MSc 3-4 this year, okay? So in this pattern, you have to go for the B.Ed after completion of MSc semester for 2 years. 1 year can be applicable to those who are going for 4+1 or 3+2. Means 3+2 means that is the current pattern. 3 year of the college, 2 years of the PG, and then 2 years of the B.Ed. Yes. What else? What else? Anything else you wanted to ask? See, research is mandatory, whether you can go to the college or whether you can go to the MSc. The second year can be of research. So we have gradually implemented that SEM 4 should be research based, that Pranav sir has already discussed. That was based on that. And you are the second batch. Many people are asking to remove, colleges are asking to remove the second MSc semester 4 syllabus. But purposefully, this MSc semester 4 syllabus is designed. And I am proudly say that I am a pioneer of the semester 4 syllabus. Education policy says it must be of 1 year. આપણે એક સેમેસ્ટર નું કરેલું છે. So after 5-10 years, students will come with that background. Yes, anything else? So thank you so much. If you don't have any question, then this lecture is complete for you. If you wanted to ask something, I am still available for next 5 minutes. Now you can leave.
હેલો સર.
Yes.
સર જે નવી એજ્યુકેશન પોલિસી રિસર્ચ ઉપર ફોકસ કરવાનું કહે છે, તો જે અત્યારે અમે પ્રેક્ટિકલ જ નથી થતા, તો અમે કઈ રીતે રિસર્ચ ઉપર એમ કે આગળ જઈને ધ્યાન આપી શકશું?
This new education policy, you are not under the new education policy. You are in the old pattern. New education policy is implemented from this year. So first year onwards, those who are in the MSc semester 1 admitting student, they will get the benefit.
Okay, sir.
Anything else? Okay, fine. So now I am concluding this lecture if you are not having any question now. Okay. Great. Thank you all.